How's it going, everyone? Hope you're having a great week so far in the market. We're slowly seeing some more momentum coming back in some of these lower cap names, the cheaper ones, and a lot of follow through on the multi-day breakout, which is good, which we haven't seen for a while. These are specifically the stocks such as CLOV and VXRT and a couple other ones, and we're gonna go over them today in the trading recap. So the first stock is CLOV. This one didn't really have news, but if you look at the daily pre-market, it was gapping up as a multi-day runner. This thing was in play, I think, 2 weeks ago when we had this huge volume breakout on the daily, and that followed through on this day too. And it's been consolidating and slowly grinding back to the 11s and then almost to 12s today. Yesterday, I did not partake in this trade. Yesterday, I didn't see it until much later on. But today I saw the huge pre-market gap up. You can see close around 1050 and we gapping up to around 11s and two highs 1150s. And at the open it spiked to almost 12s. That's kind of the area I was scalping for the small short. I was actually more long biased on the stock, but when the stock is very extended, especially into the open, close to some daily resistance around the 12s, 1190s, that's why I was scalping for just a small quick short. But really I wanted to wait for the huge pullback to consolidation to go long on this stock. So I was all out on the shorts 1170s down to 1140s, and the stock tanked all the way to 1080s. Now this is the area I was looking for the long. You can see this 1080 is a key level for today. That's also some pre-market small support level, but most importantly, it's the breakout level from yesterday. If you look at yesterday's charts, this 1080s area right here, you can see we get this huge volume squeeze right here from yesterday around 11:30 and went all the way to went to the highs yesterday. So this is the area I was looking for a dip and consolidation to go long around 1080s. So you can see today I was not in a hurry to catch the folding knife. I tried not to do that, but waiting for this level to bounce. You can see after this huge sell-off from 1170s, sold off all the way down to 1090s, and then even more lows around 1060s. Again, I'm not catching the folding knife. I'm waiting for this thing to reclaim the key level, showing some signs of recovering, especially the volumes on the selling side slow down. Once it starts moving and starts bouncing, you can see you get some more volume coming in around a 1080 support. That's where I got in on the long side, and then my risk will be the breakdown of 1080s. Got in long 1090s and even added 1095s, so I'm not afraid to buy higher. Rather than catching the folding knife, I'd rather see that this support, this key level is actually going to be respected. Because just because there's a support there doesn't mean that support is going to hold, right? These resistance and support levels, they're really just price levels, nothing more. There's nothing magical about them. There's nothing that says this has to bounce. No, it doesn't have to. So when this thing does bounce and I see that the level is actually being respected, that's why I got in long. Rather than trying to pick the bottoms at $11, at the 90s or 1170s, I waited for the bounce, joined the bounce, and then I got in long on this small pullback here around 11s. So I'm not afraid to add higher, and I'm selling to the push around 1110s and then later on 1120s. You can see the stock later on went to even higher 1140s, and after this huge pullback almost to my entry, it reclaimed the VWAP and squeezed to 1160s. But I took the meat of the move. That's the plan I was planning for. 1090s, added 11s. I'm selling to the VWAP breakout. So, rather than chasing the breakouts like these near the top, let's say you're buying the breakouts at like 1140s or 1150s, or you're scalping for 5 cents, I'd much rather long the consolidation levels that's being respected, right? If this thing fails, this could have failed. Like I said, you can see this same level, even though it bounced around here, but over here around 12 o'clock, this thing just failed. So these levels are really just price levels. They're not going to, the support might not hold. The resistance also might not, continue holding up as a top. So that's how you trade price action. So CLOV, small scalp short, but I was mostly interested in the long. I did better on the long side. So the next stock is VXRT. This one I'm a more short bias on the stock. It's one that traded many times in the past before. If you look at a daily chart, it has a lot of trouble holding multi-day runs. I mean, on this day it did. But ever since that downtrend slowly formed and we broke down this resistance around 11s, it's been slowly downtrending. And that's the reason I was more short biased on the stock. Full transparency, yesterday I also shorted the stock and I got squeezed yesterday from like about $8 to $8.20. So that was not fun. Today I'm seeing that they had a pre-market news press release pump, and then the stock squeezed from 860s all the way to 1070s and almost to 11s. Now I kind of learned my lesson yesterday that this stock, even though I'm still short biased, even though it does look at a daily breakout, this stock I kind of know what kind of traps they set. So when this is squeezed from 970s to the open, I'm not in a hurry to get in full size short. This one I'm waiting for the tops to form. You can see even though I did start building a position, I really waited until about almost 10 o'clock. You can see lots of wicks around the high 1080s and $11 area. So I'm looking for the top, seeing that this thing has a lot of trouble around 1080s. That's why I got in got in short, got in on the full size short, and I'm trying to be patient with it. At this time, I have around average about 1060s. 1068, almost 1070s, and when this thing finally one more push to 11s, you have to look at this on the 1 minute chart. Let me just kind of show you. You can see this thing around almost 10 o'clock broke 11, almost broke 11, touched 1099 and just straight down flushed. That's how you know that each breakout is sold into. That's what these wicks all are. If you look at 1 minute or 2 minutes, very clear. Each breakout to around the 1080 sold into. That's why you get these wicks, and that's why you don't want to buy breakout on these small cap stocks. Like imagine if you're trying to buy high of the day breakout at 1092, thinking it's going to 1150, and this thing touched $11 for like 1 second and immediately slammed back down. This is what we call hard rejection. It's almost like getting slapped in the face. That's never happened to me. I hope it never happened to you either. But imagine it's like somebody got bitch slapped from 11s and this thing just dropped down to 1020s. I covered some, but I was holding majority for the bigger move. Most of my covers were around 960s. On the short side, I did try to like go back and like do like some small scalps and see if we're gonna flush more, and you can see small ads here, but I was out most of it from the 1060s, and then later on this thing rug pulled down to 930. So I was actually all out on the final small ads around here, and then later on just got out of it. You can see this thing later on faded all the way down to $9. So from 11 down to $9, this is a huge range on a stock like this. But VXRT is a stock that has done these kind of moves in the past before. So that's why I'm more short bias on the stock. And you can see it did the same thing that it did here over here again, right? You can see this thing broke out to almost $10, touched 10.06 for like a split second, and then you get another slap down in the face, and this thing just slammed back down to $9. Now, next stock is a loser on the long side, is QCOM. So you can see this stock had a huge gap up from after hours. Very impressive earnings beat, EPS revs and guidance. This thing gapped up from 136 to after hours highs and pre-market highs around 144s. I was a long bias on the stock, but unfortunately this thing got pulled down with the market. I was thinking that this 143 is kind of the key level. Same idea, key level gonna hold. I started a starter, I added back in, I added to full size around the 143.60s. We did get a nice push to 144.50s, but I was really looking for the high of the day breakout and even higher on the daily. But you can plan for it, but doesn't mean it's going to work. So I got stopped out. You can see I got stopped out for a loss, and I did try to go back in again around 141.90s and then later on 142s. I was looking for the reversal back to around VWAP at least, but this thing was just so heavy and was sold off with a spike. So this is a long and it's a loss today, especially on a day where market's selling off, and yeah, it was frustrating. This thing just couldn't bounce, even though the earnings was really good, and so just didn't work out. You can plan for all your trades, plan for your entries, but it's not guaranteed to work. But imagine if you don't plan for it, right? Then what are the chances of you making money in the market? So let me just kind of go over some trades from yesterday too. So this is the chart I got short squeezed on VXRT. You can see this thing opened weak. I was shorting small since it's red on the day. I was shorting a little bit small, around $8, covered something to 780s, but this thing just squeezed. So I got squeezed out. I stopped out here for my initial short around previous day close over here. Stopped up for a loss, and I did scale back in on the short side, but it wasn't a good trade overall. Short side, the second trade, I did make some small profit, but yesterday this was the stock that squeezed me out. So which is why today I was more patient and trying to let it work, and waited for kind of the top to setting. So this is what I mean by you have to learn from your mistakes, right? If buying breakouts is not working, learn from that, plan your entries, stop following chat room alerts. You have to learn from your mistakes. Otherwise, you just keep on doing the same thing over and over again. Then you won't improve as a trader. Now, before we move on to the trading Q&As, I just gotta bring on Mula here again. She hasn't appeared in my videos for a while, but I know some of you are concerned, but she's doing really well. She's very green and she's thriving. As for the other plans I have, you guys know Kathy Wood. She's not here today because she's grounded. All right, Q&A time. First question is from William Chung. So his first question is, how many stocks do you usually track at the market open? Because he finds it very difficult to trade more than 5 stocks at the same time. My answer is I usually have, that's the reason I have so many screens, so I can watch all of them. I will watch like 10 stocks at the same time, but I only trade up to 2 at a time. So I have my main execution screen, and then I will have 2 montages and I'll trade them. And sometimes I'll leave like a starter or like a partial position open as I trade the 3rd or the 4th stock. But it's very rare that I keep full size positions in more than two stocks at once. So, especially if you're new, I would recommend to just focus on 1 or 2. Even though you don't need a monitor, sure, that's fine, but I'll still just watch 1 or 2. If you only have 1 monitor, it's very difficult to look at all 5 or all 10 stocks at the same time. And that's especially important if you're a new trader. You just want to watch the stocks with the best potential setup that meet your criteria. And that's where planning comes in. You gotta plan for your trades. And the second question from William is, how often do you have a losing trade if you have a perfect setup and you planned out your entries and exits? That happens maybe once or twice a day. I mean, that's just the name of the game. Like I said earlier, such as my trade on QCOM, I planned for it. I had the right thesis, I did my research, I planned my entries and exits, just didn't work out. So that's just the name of the game. But part of your plan is your risk, right? So, if you plan for the potential profit, your potential risk should also be planned out as well. So that's just the name of the game. You can only follow your risk. Just because you planned for the stock does not mean it has to work according to that plan. And that's why trading is so tough. It's not just a matter of win rate. It's also a matter of risk reward, right? When you make money, you want to make sure the profits are usually 3 or more times bigger than your losses. So it's all a matter of risk management and planning your setups. And together, you're giving yourself the best chance to become profitable. But if you have no risk management, if you don't even bother planning for your trades, if you're just relying on others, alerts, etc., then it's like it's always going to be a gamble. The second question is from Wim Van Hoof. I hope I said that right. So he or she is asking that, how do you manage your risk in a slower market? Do you take profit, for instance, 2-to-1 or 1-to-1, or do you lower your usual number of shares? So I think it's a little bit of everything. Today and yesterday, I was able to go back to my regular size because I was, like I said, I was seeing more gappers coming back up. So there were more stuff to trade. But basically, in slower markets, be more patient for your entries. You have to be more precise and wait for confirmation. Take less trades, only the high quality trades, and be more conservative with your price targets. So I hope the video was helpful for you guys. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the bad jokes. If you want to see more day trading content, make sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more. If you'd like to trade with me daily and get my free weekend watch list and trading journal, make sure to check out the links below for more resources. Stay green, stay positive, and I'll see you guys next time.